who would like to do the work? Would you read number 1?
I have a problem I'm driving myself insane with, and I'd like to talk about that.
Well, what is the problem you're driving yourself insane with?
So I wrote it. Once I realized what I was doing, I wrote it. That I am angry and disgusted with a large segment of our population for supporting the current administration.
So let's just jump into that pool. So you have it all written down?
I do.
Okay. So let's give it a shot.
Do I come up there?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so
It's ridiculous.
So you're angry at those of us that support the current administration. Okay, so
And angry and disgusted, which is a horrible way to feel about other people.
It is. With the
I'm sorry.
So check that out. Were you sorry?
Yeah, no, but
Okay, so
but I intend to correct it.
okay, so it just really takes a lot of let go for some of us just to get still. Are you a meditator?
Yes.
Okay, so that's what we're going to do here, okay? And the answer to the first 2 questions, there are only 4, and the answer to the first 2 questions is either yes or no. It's 1 syllable. Because your ego is want to go yes because or no but. But we're going to get still, drop in, see what meets the question. So you are disgusted, I'll say, with us for supporting the current administration.
Yes.
Okay. How do you react? We've seen a bit of it, but you're watching the news, say, how do you react? What happens? Now close your eyes and witness you. What is the situation? Are you watching the news? What?
I'm usually reading an article.
Okay.
Or it was reading comments on Facebook. I got rid of Facebook on my phone. I don't do it anymore. But it was things like that.
Okay. So with your eyes closed, that's what you're doing. And you're pretty heated. Okay. Now notice emotionally what happens when you think the thought, you're angry at us for supporting the current administration. What do you feel and where do you feel it?
A very tight, bad feeling right here.
Yeah. So feel it. I want you to know cause and effect. You're thinking the thoughts you put on the worksheet. You're in the situation. That's how it affects you physically. I want you to know where you feel it so that that can be the reminder that you are into something that you can take care of, and that is what is going on in your mind. That there is a way to deal with it, and we're doing that way right now. Okay, so you're in touch with the emotion, how it feels and where. And when you get still with this at home, you can see that from your chest it travels maybe up to your neck, your shoulders, it goes down to your gut.
It's all up in here, yeah.
Yeah. And so just to allow that, let it show you what happens when you're out of yourself. So you're disgusted with us for supporting the current administration. What images of the future do you see when you are thinking this thought?
environmental devastation,
Yeah.
people with no access to education and doctors and things like that.
Yeah.
People being silenced for having alternative beliefs and lifestyles. It's all
Yes.
1984 fear stuff.
Yeah. So you see it. Okay. Now you also just described that 1984 stuff. That's what you're seeing in the past in your mind's eye. So when you're reading that op-ed, you know how people say, be in the now? I want you to know why. Because you see that past that's not happening now. It's just a visual thing in your mind's eye. And you see that future devastation, children being hurt, all of it. You see that in your mind's eye. Now, who would you be without that past future running in your mind's eye?
Oh. Forrest Gump. I'd be happy. I would be a much more sane, calm person.
So is it us who are supporting the current administration that upset you? Or are you just sitting there upsetting yourself?
I'm absolutely just sitting there upsetting myself.
And then we take the rap.
You bastards.
Yeah. That's become self-talk. That attitude, like, you bastards, is the very thing you're opposing. And you're putting it out.
That's exactly right.
Nothing changes in your world until you do. And again, self-realization is the only way I know. Because it's got to be the real deal. You upset you. Past, future, it's a movie. It's pure. Some would say, I guess that's the ego. Just keeping you identified as I'm the one that's right. I'm the one that's noble. They're unenlightened. I'm enlightened.
You said something earlier that I laughed at myself about. You said it's not easy ruling the world, and that's kind of what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
With this opinion.
I would drop the kind of. We're not satisfied until things are in order, so we're never satisfied. Or rarely. Hear that little song for you?
That's my realization theme.
Yeah. So I'm disgusted. You're disgusted with us for supporting the current administration. How would you turn that around? How would you flip it to an opposite?
I don't think this is the best way to do it, but what came to my mind was I'm disgusted with myself for assuming all these things about all these people that I don't know anything about.
That works for me.
Okay. Okay.
That's a great turnaround. Because the way you have identified us and identify yourself, you're up here, we're down here, and that's terrifying because you just see it getting worse. And you don't know us. You don't know us. Remember earlier where we started? We are who you believe us to be, so you oppose us.
I had a thought about it that the other day I thought, it's like I'm putting myself in solitary confinement against the rest of the world the way I'm doing this. It's just madness.
Yes. So you can't, it's like when you oppose us, you can't see why. So communication is broken, so there's no hope. Communication is everything. I mean, you have to know us before you can really judge us. So open communication, go to a rally. Go to a rally.
For whom?
Well, those people.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't being glib. I wanted to understand what you
Yeah. And you can do it on the news and everything, and look at them. It's like they are thinking and believing what you're thinking and believing. So, you can end this. You can end this in your life. And then that's contagious. Let's look at statement 2. Well, do you have another turnaround? You're disgusted with us for supporting the current administration.
I have another turnaround that has occurred in some conversations that I've had with people who don't see. The other turnaround is, thank you for supporting something I don't believe in so I can learn a different way of looking at things.
Yeah.
Because I have had those experiences.
Yeah.
I don't walk around thinking I know everything about everything and I'm always right. I do appreciate hearing other perspectives because there's a bunch of stuff I don't know.
Yeah.
So
That's a beautiful mind. It's a beautiful mind. I love you're making sense of the others, so you're just left with a beautiful mind. So you're disgusted with us for supporting the current administration. Can you find another turnaround?
Well, I'm not disgusted with you because you keep saying us, and I think these people, and I want to stand up and go, no, I'm not disgusted with you guys, but they could be part of that. I don't know. It's a
You'd be amazed at how many people.
It's a crazy thing. It's insane. So I'm not disgusted with anybody because that's insane.
Yeah.
That would be another turnaround.
Yes. Gosh, I love your open mind. That thing in your chest will always let you know when your mind is closed off, and you have a way to work through it. Let's look at 2. At statement 2.
I'm embarrassed to read this.
Well, you speak for a lot
We're
of
done
people.
now, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. I want America's citizens to unite for what is right and to rise up.
So you want us, American citizens, to rise up. Well, we are.
Yeah.
We're having rallies. We're wearing red hats.
Yes. For different reasons, right? Red or
But
pink.
we're rising up.
Right. That's true. Yeah.
So what you mean is you want people that believe the way you do to rise up.
Exactly, because I'm.
Let's see, now we have 2 factions rising up.
Well, so the reason I laughed when I read this is in another discussion with a person who doesn't think and believe the way I do, they said the act of electing this administration was them rising up. And so if I'm going to say rise up, I didn't mean that way. I can't. You can't
like
decide how they rise up.
Those of you that think like I do, rise up.
The rest of you
The
do
rest
not.
of you.
The rest of you may be seated. I told you it was crazy. It's totally insane.
Well, you are doing this for a lot of people, on both sides. So you want us to rise up. Is it true? Just imagine,
No,
that
it's
means-
not. It's not true. Not if it means something that doesn't jive with me. No, it's not true.
Okay, so just notice the narrow mind there when you're in that mindset. It's like you've just closed yourself off and it's in your chest. It gets scary.
It's totally scary.
It gets depressing,
It's so isolating.
isolating.
And you said something that's very, very important and very true, is that I am turning into the thing I claim to be against. Yeah, that's exactly what it feels like.
Yeah. That's it reminds me of what people do when they age. We're just stuck in these beliefs, and we get bitter, and we get bitter, and we get bitter. And when you're as open as you are, you get younger and younger and younger. It doesn't matter what the physical body does. You're young at heart, and those are great people who can see themselves and see others. It's a beautiful life. Lighthearted, not stupid. Lighthearted. I think. So you want American citizens to rise up. Now, how do you react? You're reading the article. How do you react? What happens in your mind's eye when you think the thought, I want American citizens to rise up? What do you see? Past, future.
How do I visualize the outcome of that, or where does it come? Like it comes.
Okay, I'm sitting here. I want American citizens to rise up, and I only mean those people. Okay, so those American citizens to rise up. So I'm seeing images of them in the future rising up. I'm seeing it right now. They're rising up in the future, and there are so many of them that they're converting the others, and now you see.
I didn't think it through that far, I guess, but
But it's happening, or you can't feel that thing in your chest. I want them to rise up. Okay, how many of you have ever had a drink of water? Okay, so where's your proof? You saw you drinking water in your mind's eye. Okay, now was that you or was that false self? Okay, it's like if you're here and you see you drinking water, that's the past. Okay, if you see you drinking water in the future, so you have 1, 2, 3 selves. So get squared away with the answer to who am I? This. So all those people rising up, they're in your mind's eye, and you see this beautiful thing happening. So all your problems are solved, but then you see the past, and then all your proof is there, right there in the op-ed or whatever you're reading.
I think the way that I see that future it has to do a lot with people getting educations. That's what it looks like to me somehow. I don't know why that is. I'm just telling you.
Well, because that's from where I sit, that's it. the more educated we are. Isn't that what we're doing right here? It's like we're in mind school.
Yeah.
Yeah, because anger is a lack of self-awareness, and that's the ultimate education. It's where children of all ages are open to learn. But if I'm in past, future, at school as a child, then and my parents have had a fight, and I'm hungry, and I'm afraid to go home, and it's like I can't learn. I'm past, future.
Yeah.
So, and we're children of all ages. Anytime we are upset, anytime that we are not comfortable in our own skin, we are not of right mind, and we are slow to learn. In fact, we're in a spot where we're unlearning, what's valuable, overriding what's valuable, education. So you want American citizens to rise up. So what do you see? You see education in the United States as you would dictate it. And that's not wrong. You could be very right. But just what do you see in your mind's eye? I want American citizens to rise up. You want American citizens to rise up, is it true?
Oh, no.
Okay, so you feel that? What did you see?
The reason I say it's not true is because some people feel like they are rising up, and I don't like it. So I must not want everybody to rise up. So that I can't say that that's true.
And how do you react? What happens when you believe the thought, I want American citizens to rise up?
I feel hopeless, and I don't have a lot of hope, and I feel like all kinds of thoughts. Maybe it's time to move. Maybe whatever. It's
okay. So you don't have a lot of hope. How do you react when you believe the thought? In your mind's eye, you're in the future where education is being slighted, where it's being manipulated maybe, whatever. You know where I'm going with this? You cannot feel that way if you don't see that way, and we're asleep to what we're seeing. We're just running on what we think we're believing and emotions. And that's like being gorillas. It's like being like a Stone Age kind of thing. Like awareness will show you the cause of your emotions. And they'll show you, as you sit in inquiry, they'll show you what's sane and what is not. And there's one thing that we're all equal in, and that is wisdom. It's like that's what we've got in common. But what we're believing over that wisdom doesn't have a chance to show itself to us, to break through all that fake news. And that's what it is. What you've written here is fake news. If it's not wise is kind. And so if it's not wise, then you're going to be upset. But not because of people or the situations. You're going to be upset because of the images you're seeing in your mind that you're not aware of. How many of you had breakfast this morning? Where's your proof? Okay. How many of you, I could go on and on with that. But your proof is here. And that cost you your true nature, the awareness of that, just right here, right now. And it's not right or wrong. I just want you to know why you're not always tapped into your goodness. Because obviously you have a lot to give. And obviously when you're sane, no one can stop you.
haven't been saying about this.
And I don't like that. I don't like that. Because it's a waste of a beautiful presence. An entire lifetime of giving. And it slights it. I want American citizens to rise up, turn it around.
I want American citizens to be comfortable where they are, happy with who they are.
Yeah. Can you find another turnaround?
Maybe I should rise up.
Yeah, well, try it on. You're an American citizen, I assume.
Right.
So turn it around like that. I want me
to
rise up.
rise up.
Yeah, you have a lot to say. And there are many ways of saying it, but you don't have to say it out of fear. Rise up.
When I am in dialogue with people who support the administration, I'm not fearful. I have wonderful discussions with them. I really do.
Yeah,
Even if we don't agree.
yeah.
That's not when it happens. It happens when I'm making up all this crazy shit that I'm doing, whatever I'm doing. That I've and I'm ingesting a lot of poison to get to that place too. You know what I mean? Reading stuff and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So rise up. You've told us one way you rise up. You can have really great discussions with any faction. But how could you rise up and maybe run for public office or write op-eds or rise up? We need some sanity in the world. Not one side or the other, just some sanity. What works and what doesn't work. In your opinion, and don't expect people to agree with it. Okay, sweetheart, let's look at 3.
People should revolt. People should demand some honesty. People should refuse to pay their taxes until there is change. Now, I'm not going to do that one, but...
I was going to say, I just changed my mind about you running for public office. But it is how we're thinking. We're in those states of mind. And that's the cause of the emotions. And when you're in it, you're doing the work and you become aware of it. And it's just huge. And it doesn't even mean you're going to stop, but you're aware of it. It's like you're watching yourself act out, like from another place, and as your identity shifts. So people should revolt. People should demand people should demand honesty. Is it true?
It's I don't know. That's an incomplete statement.
It really is.
I do think that we should, if you're asking sane John, we need to demand honesty of ourselves.
Yeah. So what happens when someone demands honesty from you?
Well, I feel like you're doing that to me right now. Well, I don't know. I don't think that we feel loved in that situation. I don't think it feels good for us. It feels like it's implied that we're not being honest, and so we're almost attacked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's quite something to see. And I can demand honesty of you, and to get me off your back, you could tell me anything. You could tell me the absolute truth. It doesn't mean I'm going to believe you. It's a lose-lose situation when we're demanding honesty of anyone. And when we witness the two of us together, it could, we don't even know what honesty is. But we want to demand that people be honest, which is another way of saying I demand that you say you believe the way I do. Or I demand that you believe the way I don't settle for any other answers. So people should demand honesty from the administration. Oh, honey. Is it true?
No.
No.
No. No.
No.
And this is not the first dishonest administration either, is it?
No. No. And I just keep looking to myself, how do I administer as a wife, as a mother, as a grandmother? Where am I dishonest? Just. So people should demand honesty of the administration. So turn it around. Just look at it this way. The administration should be honest. Is that true?
Not necessarily. In my opinion, they should be. But
Are you always honest?
no.
So they should be honest.
No.
Like, you have an interest in integrity.
Yes.
And they're trying to run a country. Or whatever you believe they're doing. That was slick, wasn't it? So I should demand honesty of myself.
Yes.
Try that one on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when I am mentally out of their business, it leaves a lot of work to do from here, just being honest from here. So so people should refuse to pay their taxes. Have you thought that through?
No. It only works if we all do it. No.
And it only works if we all do it. Is it true?
No. It's all of this comes from that immature rage you were talking about.
Yeah.
It all comes from that place.
It is, and it will make you old ahead of your time. It will cost the rest of us your life. It'll cost. That's a big price to pay. You're not the only one you affect. You burn out. We're cheated.
I already feel like in the last year, there are parts of me that have turned into things I don't want to be part of me.
Yeah.
That I don't want to happen.
Yeah.
And that's terrifying.
And the administration we're seeing here is not doing that. What you're thinking and believing is doing that.
Yeah. No.
As you sit in your comfortable chair reading, what you read. So people should refuse to pay their taxes until there's change turned around. I should. Who's going to go first?
I don't know how to turn that one around because it seems like it's
Well, just, you know,
kind of a crazy statement.
you think?
Yes.
You know, you could get a whole bunch of people to follow you in it.
Oh,
You know, go up on the mesa and,
oh.
okay, sweetheart, let's look at 4.
In order for me to be happy, you may have to remember I wrote this in the crazy. I tried to really get in that frame of mind. In order for this, I need this administration to leave the White House.
Okay. They do. I'm not going to say. I was going to say they play golf, but. So you need the administration to leave the White House. So how do you react? What happens when you think that thought?
The thought that it's as if it's happened, or
That you need them to leave the White House. Just the way they came in, you need them to leave. Is it true?
no? Is it true? No. I mean, what would replace them?
Well,
You know.
so the needs. Remember, it's about happiness.
Yeah.
So if the administration left the White House, would you be happy?
No.
And you just said you don't know what would replace it.
Yeah.
So how do you react? What happens in your mind's eye? What goes on, past, future, when you think the thought, I need this administration to leave the White House?
Right now, as you're saying this to me?
No, as you're in the situation where you're reading your material and sitting in the chair experiencing these thoughts.
Well, in my mind, someone better gets the job. So I don't know who that is yet, but
So whimsical thinking.
yes.
Okay, like a child, just,
Yeah.
like, oh boy, this
Yeah.
would make me happy. And then you look at the past, oh boy, that just makes me miserable. And it's a mind game. And then all the emotions coming out. Isn't that a movie? How many of you have been to a movie where it was so sad you cried and it was so scary you left the movie or closed your eyes? Well, it's going on all the time. It's the cause of suffering. Okay? What we're thinking and believing is the cause of suffering. No one on the outside, no administration can cause you stress. And it takes a lot of work to really get that. Well, I'll just say it this way. That's my experience. And what comes out of that is a kinder world, and I'm kinder. And that's important. It's really everything. Someone that is kind, like you could walk into that White House and feel nothing but connection, compassion, understanding, the whole thing. And you're good at that with people anyway. You know, you're blessed. But these moments at home alone, they can make you bitter. Burn you up. You're lighthearted, and we don't want to lose that. No. So you need the administration to leave the White House. To be happy, you need them to leave the White House. Is it true as you sit in your chair?
No.
No. Like, for all you know, they're leaving and you're not happy. You're busy. You're busy in your movie. You know the expression, life is a dream? Well, that's it. So look at you in the chair without this thought. Like, who would you be without your story? Just sitting in the chair, reading the op-ed with an open mind. I keep saying op-ed. You didn't say that. I said that.
I would probably be laughing about something. I'm usually laughing or singing.
And reading it, like, I read the news and I understand. There's not an anger or a high or a low or anything. It gets down to if I believe what they believe, I would say and do exactly the same thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So let's turn it around. I don't need.
I don't need anybody to leave any house for me to be happy.
Okay, so feel that. It's just so. And out of that state of mind, you get to witness, watch, change what you can, be effective, but it can never hurt you. Can never hurt you. And the people it does hurt, like the children you were worried about in your mind's eye, you see them? Okay? What they are thinking and believing is also the cause of their suffering.
Yeah.
That leaves, when you think of that, children of all ages, when you think of that, and you've survived your own crazy thinking, it leaves nothing but compassion. And a fearless way of life that just, I have the thought I'm going too far here, but I don't know how that's possible. It's other than what we're thinking and believing. It's a beautiful world. It's a perfect world. And this White House for you is like a push to that kind of freedom. And it takes a big deal to push you, to push you into your true nature. So it's not wasted. There's nothing that isn't for me in this universe. It's all for me. And if I think it's a bum deal, that's my push to get sane. No enemy. No enemy anywhere, just the way of it, the beautiful way of it. Okay, so let's look at 5.
America, the United States of America, has been taken over by greedy, lazy, evil, petty people.
Okay, so my mind has been taken over.
My mind has been taken over
By,
by,
so read it. Because those things are in your head. You're not at the White House.
so I, yeah, so my mind has been taken over by not people, but greed and pettiness and fear and things like that.
Okay, so read it again, just the way you wrote it, turned around. My mind has been taken over by.
My mind has been taken over by greedy, lazy, petty people.
Okay, so
Not
that's who
people.
was in your mind's eye.
Oh, okay.
That's what you were witnessing in your mind's eye. Past and future. Now, are those real people or is that imagination?
They are not real people.
No, they're in your head.
Yeah.
And then they take the rap for what you are not awake to.
Yeah, that's true. That's that's very true. It's like I won't name any names, but I cast these characters in the play in my mind into certain roles. That guy's the evil madman, and that guy's the narcissist, and yeah. But I don't know any of them. I never spent any time with any of them.
Don't hang out a lot.
I never spend any time with any of them. I don't know what they're like.
Yeah, so it's until you can, until you're sitting there, with your paper until you're reading it and you're clear here. Like the same thing is going on that you described here, past, future. The same thing is going on, but you're awake to this is imagination, and whatever they write in the papers is an opinion, and it's what you believe onto that. You're just left you with you. I want to say it again. So my mind has been taken over in that moment that I was sitting with the paper by greedy, lazy, petty people. Now, to be aware that those aren't people, that that's within me, takes me directly to where am I being greedy? Where am I being lazy in my mind and politics and life? Where am I being petty? Well, just sitting here, I'm being petty. And I'm being greedy. I'm blaming people for this imagination running in my head. And it seems like a dangerous thing to be so awake, if that sounded awake to you. But it leaves no enemy that's pretty awake. It just leaves the enemy within to deal with. But if you're awake to that, you're awake as you walk in the world, and there's no human being that you don't connect with. So I'm walking down the street, and someone's coming toward me, and he looks dangerous, and it's almost dark, and my mother told me that this is a dangerous place, and he's getting closer and closer, and I'm full of fear. Why am I full of fear? I see he's attacking me in the future, even if it's a nanosecond ahead in the future, I see that. And that's what's frightening me, not this man. But I am positive I'm in real trouble as he says hello and passes. But to know the difference between here's the man and then there's the man in my head. And I'm really believing that this man is this man. Okay, this is my fellow man. I'd rather be attacked, accosted. I've experienced some pretty wild stuff. I'd rather have any of that happen before I would not be connected to another human being. I'd rather be dead. And of course, I have nothing to lose. You know what I mean by that? What is this that lives? Who I believe me to be? There's not a lot of substance to that, is there? If you're frightened, it's a push. And I'm not saying don't cross the street. Be gentle with yourself until eventually you have no enemies. But when we look at what you've written, you're obviously a kind, bright, loving human being. But in your head, it's completely against your nature. It's going against it. So it's been what a trip working with you. I don't know how much work we got done, but I learned a lot.
So did I.
Thank you.
Thank you.